Hello, my loves. It's Mika, and I'm back. I want to thank you all for being here. I love and appreciate you for all of your support. Thank you so very much. I want to talk to those of you who are just listening to my information and are not taking any of the steps or actions indicated in the series. Maybe you're not ready to take the steps yet, and that's okay. We can't help those that are not ready to be helped, and you'll be ready in your own time. No judgment. Do the work for you and only you when you're ready. You may also feel that you don't need it to work on anything and you just want to hear my content anyway. Like, wow, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you too. Or you may have already done the work and you just want to see or hear what I have to say. Thank you as well for your support. It is greatly appreciated. You guys listening, watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, all of it is appreciated, regardless of the reason you're here. Even if there's haters, those of you that are here to be spiteful or whatever, hurt or bitter reason you have, thank you for your support and listening to my content. I appreciate you too. Now that I got that out of the way, those of you who are here for the information, the steps, support, and all that jazz, let's move on. So, solidifying your foundation is not easy. It's tedious, painful, it can be long and time consuming, but you are so very worth all the work you put into yourself. I promise you are worthy of it all. So, I'm going to touch on trauma. Let me start off first with a disclaimer. I am not a therapist, psychologist, or psychiatrist, or your counselor. It is important to find a professional to talk to during this journey, someone you can trust. You will get into the realm and you may not find one that you mesh with right off, but you may find someone that you click with initially. Just remember to keep an open mind and continue searching until you find the right one that is right for you. And understand you need to start somewhere. Now that I have that out the way, therapy is important, and I want it's going to be helpful going through these next steps and stages. So um, let's look here. So we want to make sure you keep an open mind. Keep an open mind about what is bringing you down, causing your pain, making you avoid reality. You want to safely face your issues, talk about what happened, continue working on your cup of joy, your attitude of gratitude, meditation, positive affirmations, positive thinking. And in your own time, do not, when you get to the stages of grief, do not dwell into those stages of grief, okay? So, most of the people that have come to me in the past for guidance, information, help, support, ideas, etc., has fallen into a few categories that I'm going to list by the majority. So one of the top reasons people came to me, they have just ended abusive relationship. It could have been physical, mental, emotional, financial, or the combination or any other types of abuse. So a lot of times, some of my previous clients wasn't aware uh, that they were in an abusive relationship. Because sometimes if it's not physical or super obvious, that they think that it's not abuse. So just know if there's manipulation, um, financial, like when people are controlling and being controlling with things or manipulative or guilt trips and things like that, if they're abusing that, it is an abusive relationship. Okay. Sometimes people were assaulted as a child or adolescent. It could be physical assault, sexual assault, um, just different types of assaults. Hope you get what I'm going with that. There was people that was assaulted or harmed by a known person, like a family member or a family friend or a neighbor locally, right? Someone who lived close by that they see often. Some people was assaulted by an unknown person, a stranger. Sometimes people's root issues are related to family dysfunction. Um, just a lot of time, people have generational baggage, generational quote unquote curses, generational habits, generational issues that are the cycles, generational cycles that are not broken and just continue through the generation. Um, there can be deep rooted family issues, family traumas, family delusions that causes issue that trickles down. So sometimes people come to me and don't even realize that they have an issue, but they know that there's a problem and they can't figure out what it is, the more they talk about the things that bother them, their triggers, we'll talk more about triggers later, the more it comes up, the issues related to family, and then they didn't realize it was an issue, even though they didn't like it. It's a lot of self-discovery, okay? If you had traumas, it does not have to be one of these, right? That I have mentioned. It does not have to be a major catastrophic incident. This is the place for you to start doing some reality work and some really hard work, right? First and foremost, a lot of people, especially men or women that were raised by people who settled or do not realize that they've had trauma, there's a lot of issues like it is what it is, right? It happens all the time. It's nothing special or major. I'm no one different. I'm no one special. I put myself in that situation, or it's my fault. I should have known better. All these excuses have people underestimating or not validating their trauma. Call it what you want, a situation, an accident, or whatever. It was trauma, and it eats at you daily or from time to time. You take the baggage of the trauma with you always, and it creeps out its little head in the form of triggers or reminders or negative memories that you struggle with to move on through. You either ignore it or push it down or tell yourself lies, or you take it out on others that are close to you. So listen, when you've had trauma, um, that is an aspect of the loss of control. So when you've lost control and you and your mind try to take control back, they may look like being overly controlling with everything and every person in your life. So that's where we move on to the behaviors that may exhibit, right? You may have controlling or addictive habits. So having addictions or controlling addictive habits could look like shopping addiction, where you, some people, not everybody who has an addiction calls it retail therapy, but that's the way to look at it. Sometimes people shop when they can afford to shop. And a lot of times people feel better after they make a bunch of purchases. And it could be tiny purchases or large purchases. And if when it becomes a huge issue, where you are buying stuff you never use, you never wear, you never take out the box, it can lead to hoarding, right? Another addictive behavior is sexual addiction, porn addiction, addiction to drugs, addiction to alcohol, addiction to hoarding, attention-seeking behavior, codependent behavior, and being manipulative. Now, these are not all the negative behaviors or addictive behaviors or controlling behaviors one can have. These are just more popular that people can see or heard about or may have experienced more commonly. But there are other behaviors, controlling behaviors and addictive behaviors you can have other than what's listed here. But it's really anything that makes you feel more in control. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a feeling or a sense of control. The thing is, you will need to do the work and take the proper steps to understand and implement what you can or should have control over. So the only thing you control first and foremost is yourself, right? What you do, what you say, how you act, what you feel, all within your control. The second thing you can try to control is your environment, not the environment, your environment. There's a difference. The people and items around you, what and who you allow in your space. That's pretty much it. Now, it's not to negate that some people do not know how to take control of themselves, take that control back. Now, I'm here to try to help. I've helped others not only take back control over their health and wellness, but also take back control of their mind, body, spirit, emotions, mindset, so forth. The first thing that is needed is to be able to say what happened. So what happened to you, not just what, but details of what happened to you without tears, anger, or revenge. And it's a process to get to that point. And that is not going to just happen. There's a process with this. How that process looks specifically for each person will be different. Since this is not a one-on-one coaching with an individual for me to cater my guidance for that person's specific situation based on them personally. I would have to be general in my guidance. But no, the specific route would be determined by you yourself. So people always say, get over it, right? Get over your past trauma, get over your past hurt, your past that broke you down. But it's not easy to find a way to get over it, right? You can't just forget like whatever happened to you would just it would just always be there. Like a file cabinet, you will always remember there will be a smell, a sound, a word, a phrase, a behavior that someone has that triggers or brings up that pain, that hurt, that trauma, right? So if this is not ever addressed, faced head on, dealt with, it will always be there and be looming over your head like a dark cloud. And it's not realistic to expect everyone you meet to change and alter themselves for you because you've been through some stuff. That's selfish. That's not fair. You may feel you need to alter who you are and how you act and behave for other people because of their trauma and past and expect the same. But that's you. People treat people the way they want to be treated, but no one is obligated to be who you want them to be. Again, you need to be the change you want to see. To start, you would need to be able to say the details of what happened to you. But to get there, you need to start small. So, how does that look? You may start by just writing down all the details you can remember of what happened. But start with facts, not your assumptions or how you felt, no emotions, just facts. It's going to be hard. The next steps will be to say what happened to you, all the details you can remember. Now, your brain protects you from pain and trauma, so there will be lots of details you can't remember, and that's okay. So when you're writing, you want to go back over it and you want to read it, you want to face it, you want to feel you can say it. So start by saying it to yourself, like out loud in a quiet, private space. Then work towards saying it to yourself in the mirror. Yes, in the beginning, when you start writing, you will stop a lot. The pain may be too much, and that's okay. Go back through it. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on it. When you're saying it, you may be crying and sobbing, and that's fine. That's normal. Push through it. Stop when you need to. Go back through it and start all over when you can. Get uh, as far as you can get with the facts of what you can remember that occurred. This process can be quick if it was not that long ago, or it can take some time, weeks, months, even years. Hopefully it doesn't take you guys years because I got a lot of information here to help you guys get through it quicker without you having to do as much research because I've done the research for you. So when you say it out loud to yourself in the mirror, you can get through the entire story um, of your recount of what occurred. Once you get to that point, then you want to decide who within your support system that you trust that you can tell your story to. You want to be able to give them a heads up first, right? It's a lot of weight you're about to throw at somebody, right? Okay, so when you get to the point that you're ready to tell your story to a support person, write down how you feel about getting to that point. So now we get into feelings, okay? How you feel about the journey to get there and how you feel about what happened to you. Tell your story. You may cry, push through, don't stop. Finish your truth. Then say how you feel. Then write in your journal about how you feel about getting the weight off your shoulders. The work is not done here. So, with all that being said, after page 48 in your journal, find a blank page and you will start there. Now, if you have a lot to go that, went on, you may need more notebooks to write in. But again, this aspect is basic and general, and my books are a starting point for general situations. You just need to start somewhere. Now, getting it out isn't done either. You're not done there. There are 5 stages of grief people go through. Plus, there's the aspect of the steps in the 12 steps program, right? So I also include that. I'm going to have that later on, but that's also important, and I'll explain why it is when I get to that point. So keep that in mind. Again, it's a process. So let me touch a bit on triggers a little bit more, right? So there can be triggers, sometimes a taste, a sound, a smell, a feature on someone. Others' behaviors can trigger a negative memory or response from you. This should not be ignored. However, you should not just react to those triggers either. You want to be aware, but you want to be logical. What does that mean to you? Is what you are feeling or how you're behaving or responding to that trigger rational? Is it safe? How do you think the person you are taking it out on feel? How would you feel if someone reacts and responds to you in that same way? Understand when it comes to trauma, there is no wrong or right. It's a process. No one can dictate how you should feel or respond. I am here to help with a focus, a perspective, your perception of reality. When you know better, you do better. So be in the know. Keep telling your story. Once you are able to tell 2 to 3 people your story, and this includes your therapist as one of those, you can say it without, and you can say it without stopping, and you can say it without falling apart, without crying. That point, you're ready to take some more steps to move on. Yeah, I said it, ready to take the steps, because just getting here isn't there yet. A few more videos will get you through the 5 stages of grief, to get you to acceptance, to be able to move on. To those of you who do not know about the 5 stages of grief, it is denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. At the end of the day, there will be clarity and freedom when you do the work. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, this is Mika. I appreciate you guys coming to my platform to get information and to follow me and to be supportive. Thank you so much. You can be anywhere else in the world, and I appreciate you coming here. Make sure to like, or those haters dislike. Either way, do it for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you always know if I upload, and share this video if you care. Share my playlist if you care. If there's other people out there that you feel would benefit from the content that I'm providing, share it with them. Again, I'll see you guys at my next video, where I would be breaking down the 5 stages of grief. And yes, there will be 5 videos since there's 5 stages. Thank you guys so much. And stay safe out there.